You are watching the English news of Binh Phuoc Radio, television, and newspaper. I'm the one with the latest news for today. Draft resolution on investment in gia, nghĩa, trơn, thành expressway project approved. Contest on Binh Phuoc land and people launched. Vietnam and Timor-Leste enhance cooperation. Vietnamese and Indian prime ministers engage in fruitful talks in New Delhi. Ladies and gentlemen, on August the 1st, Chairwoman of the Binh Phuoc Provincial People's Committee Trần Tuệ Hiền, along with Vice Chairman Huỳnh Anh Minh and Trần Văn My, chaired a meeting to discuss the draft resolution for the gia, nghĩa, trơn, thành section of the North-South Expressway project.
The meeting focused on aspects under provincial jurisdiction, including the project's impact on mineral planning areas, compensation and resettlement plans, and the legal framework for implementation. Chairwoman Trần Tuệ Hiền emphasized that the expressway will boost economic and social development in Binh Phuoc and Đắk Nông provinces by enhancing connectivity between the southeast region and the Central Highlands and easing traffic on National Highway 14. The Department of Transport is to incorporate suggestions from the meeting into the draft resolution. She also called for rigorous coordination among specialized agencies to refine and ensure the legal provisions of the project before it is submitted to the government.
The Binh Phuoc Provincial New Rural Development Coordination Office had issued a directive urging relevant departments and local governments to accelerate the disbursement of funds allocated for the National Target Program on New Style Rural Development in 2024.
The office emphasized the need for swift allocation and disbursement of funds and the expedited implementation of key projects. Local authorities are asked to proactively identify and resolve any obstacles that could delay project implementation. This includes establishing clear responsibilities and coordination mechanisms among different agencies to streamline investment procedures. As of June 2024, 73 out of 86 communes in Binh Phuoc have met the new rural standards, achieving 84.8% of the plan, with an average of 18.46 criteria per commune. Additionally, 21 communes have been recognized as advanced new rural communes.
Binh Phuoc, land and people is the theme of a literary and artistic creation contest organized by the Binh Phuoc Literary and Artistic Association. The contest is open to both professional and amateur authors living, studying, or working in and outside the province.
The contest entries should commemorate the 50th anniversary of Vietnamese literature and arts in general, and specifically Binh Phuoc's literature and arts. The submissions should reflect the spirit of various social traders in the nation's renewal process, with a strong and widespread influence, evoking patriotism, the desire to contribute, and the responsibility of artists toward the country. The contest aims to promote the talent and creativity of artists both within and outside the province, contributing to enhancing the spiritual life of the people and fostering the comprehensive development of Binh Phuoc's culture and people. The contest categories include novels, short stories, memoirs, single poems, poetry collections, visual arts, photography, music, folk arts, architecture, and traditional folk music. The organizer will accept contest entries until March 1st, 2025.
Moving on to the top stories around the country. President of Timor-Leste, Jose Ramos Horta, is paying a state visit to Vietnam at the invitation of Vietnamese President Tô Lâm. On August the 1st, the Vietnamese president hosted a welcome ceremony for his Timor-Leste counterpart. The two leaders held talk right after that to evaluate the cooperation results over the past time and pen orientations for collaboration in the future.
Vietnam and Timor-Leste have seen substantial development in their friendship and multifaceted cooperation since the establishment of the diplomatic relations in 2002. The two countries have maintained close ties and supported each other in the international arena, while leaders of both sides have kept high-level contacts. President Lum and his Timor-Leste counterpart José Ramos Horta shared their delight at remarkable progress in bilateral relations, with the maintenance of high-level exchanges and meetings, encouraging economic cooperation and rising two-way trade to expectedly higher than last year's figure of $15.9 million. They noted Vietnam's Viettel telecommunications firm is operating effectively in Timor-Leste under the brand of Telemor, contributing to local socio-economic development. The two leaders agreed to efficiently promote the cooperation potential in other important areas, especially agriculture, fisheries, telecommunications, education, oil and gas, among others. President Lum highly evaluated the determination and efforts by Timor-Leste in realizing the roadmap to become a full member of ASEAN, affirming Vietnam's support to Timor-Leste's full ASEAN membership at an early date. Ramos Horta affirmed that his country totally supports Vietnam's candidacies at multilateral mechanisms, including the UN Security Council, UN Human Rights Council, and other international organizations. Regarding the East Sea issue, the two sides committed to continuing to support the upholding of the law in maintaining peace, stability, and ensuring security, safety and freedom of navigation and overflight in the East Sea. Following the talks, the two leaders witnessed the signing of an agreement on bilateral visa exemption for diplomatic and official passport holders. On the occasion, Ramos Horta invited Lum to visit Timor-Leste. The latter accepted the invitation and promised to arrange the visit at a suitable time.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính paid a state visit to India at the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. On August 1st, Indian Prime Minister Modi hosted a welcome ceremony for Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, and then the two leaders held talks.
At the ceremony, the national anthems of both countries were played by a military band, followed by Prime Minister Chin reviewing the Indian Armed Forces Guard of Honor. The state visit marks Prime Minister Chin's first trip to India in his capacity as head of the Vietnamese government, and the first one by a Vietnamese Prime Minister to India in a decade. Also on the morning of August 1st, Prime Minister Chin laid a wreath in tribute of Mahatma Gandhi at the Rajghat Memorial Complex in New Delhi. After that, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh and his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi engaged in productive talks in New Delhi, pledging to further deepen the comprehensive strategic partnership between the two nations. Together, they acknowledged that the bond between Vietnam and India, nurtured by generations of their leaders and citizens, needs to be cherished as an invaluable asset. The two prime ministers shared the resolve to further deepen the Vietnam-India comprehensive strategic partnership on the foundation of the 52-year bilateral ties, to meet the aspirations and legitimate interests of their people. They agreed to strengthen traditional cooperation areas and expand into emerging ones under the principle of higher political trust, deeper national defense security cooperation, more substantive and effective economic, trade, and investment ties, broader joint work in science, technology, and innovation, and closer cultural and people-to-people exchanges. Exchanging views on regional and international issues, they agreed to continue support each other and closely coordination at regional and international forums.
According to the latest data from the Japan External Trade Organization, as of July, Japan remained in the top 5 foreign direct investment investors in Vietnam.
JETRO reports that 70% of Japanese businesses operating in Vietnam are looking to expand their production scale with more modern business models. The manufacturing sector continues to be a major focus for Japanese companies, accounting for nearly 50% of total investment. Despite a 20% decrease in the number of new projects in 2024 compared to the previous year, the investment value of Japanese enterprises in Vietnam has continued to grow steadily. With competitive advantages such as an abundant labor force, reasonable production costs, and attractive investment incentives, Vietnam is increasingly becoming a compelling destination for Japanese investors.
And that's it for this edition of BPTV News. Thank you very much for your watching and see you next time.